Buongiorno. Affliction Vector.
You did
Italian.
you did like a sort of a little mocking accent as well.
Definitely wasn't mocking. Affliction
Twizzle
Vector.
your mustache when you do it.
Proper Mario. Affliction Vector, the duo from Italy, have released their debut. This is their debut, Mike. Contra Hominem. How did you find? You kind of put me onto this. How did you find out about this band?
Oh, I can't remember.
Love that.
I think it's because it's probably from the same way that I often find out about things. I don't want to say that because it
Right,
makes it sound
because
like I'm
that's
not
our
really doing very much.
yeah, no, that's our in secret. Listen, Affliction Vector are a duo, blackened death war bestial chaotic noise duo, aren't they? It's I think the best way to describe it is just like chaotically evil. Would you agree, Mike?
Yeah, man, it's quite intense, isn't it? It's quite an intense
Yeah,
album.
yeah,
Reminds me a lot of is it the Tatum Blood, that album we did. It's got a
yeah. There's
similar.
shades of it. It's got that kind of bestial war metal similarity, hasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know about you. Did you feel like it had a little bit of a hardcore influence in its approach potentially? I felt like the drums and some of the bits he would do on it, it reminded me a little bit of like a hardcore thing. No?
No,
So
I didn't
I
get
was
that.
using so much confidence in that looking at your face whilst I was saying it.
I
Please
didn't
agree
get
with
that,
me
but that's
blindly.
yeah. Listen, that's why music reviewing is great, Mike, because we all have different takes on it, even
Yeah,
if
I
one
know.
is a little bit crazy. No, I didn't get that, but um, the drumming. I mean, the drumming. If what you're touching about was fucking exceptional in this,
Yeah.
we'll get back into that when we kind of go back
Which
into
you
it.
know
Let's
what I
just
realised, reading up about them a bit, is that their old the guy he didn't play drums on this sound, but the drummer before was the drummer from that Italian band The Secret, who were like a blackened kind of hardcore band. Um,
ah,
they were on Southern Lord, I think, at one point. And I saw them in a tiny venue in Ashford years ago,
did ya? Were they any
supported
good?
by yeah, they were really good actually. Supported by Bring Me the Horizon,
Oh, a little known band,
little no band. And there was no one there.
really.
No, you're quite
Except for
empty.
you. Just you.
I was there. I mean, there was a few people there, but I mean, I remember it being quite quiet.
Yeah. Okay. Well, quiet. This is not Contra
No,
Hominem.
well done.
It's yeah. What a great segue.
Yeah,
Eight tracks of just man. When I first put this on, I had a headache, and I'm not gonna lie, it was really horrible to listen to.
yeah.
And
Yeah, I can imagine.
But then once the headache cleared, I went back to it and fucking this is incredible. At first I was listening to it through my computer speakers, but I had to put headphones on because I think this is an album that it comes through better with headphones. There's a lot of kind of subtlety
Yeah,
in the guitar work especially that is kind of maybe missed when you don't have it like injected into your ears
it
because the
sounds got
kind
like a
of
wall of noise, doesn't it? It's again a
it
bit like
does.
Tatum Blood. You know how that kind of sounds like that, and you have to
Yeah.
listen in close to pick out some of the stuff that they're doing. It's not immediately obvious.
No, and it's one of them ones where the kind of the more you listen to it, you pick out the kind of different parts of the guitar work. Because one thing they do a lot is they'll throw in like a little lick in one of the
Yeah.
riffs, but they'll never repeat it, and it will just be a one and done. And that's not to say it's like a throwaway idea. It would be a really great guitar lick or something, but you wouldn't like if you were listening to that on speakers. Sometimes you might not even pick that up. It was really quite cool in that sense.
Do you know one thing I liked about this production wise as well is I felt like the bass was at a good audible level.
Yeah,
So you
there
could
was.
actually like if the guitars were going wild and crazy, the bass was kind of holding it down, and you could hear the changes that were being made.
Yeah, you could really it was really at some points it was really driving, like especially on some of the tremolo parts, it was really like you could really pick out what it was doing, which is
Yeah.
often quite rare in the kind of blackened space, isn't it?
Well, what did you? Oh, fucking hell, my voice. A minute, John. What did you think of it? God, I had to
I
talk
love
something. Jesus.
I really enjoyed it, man. It was one of these records that kind of actually got better the more I listened to it, which for something like this, I guess is maybe the the way that these things go, because there's a lot that you miss when you first put it on, because like you say, it is a wall of noise. But it was for me, it was like drenched in atmosphere in all the right areas. It was like it didn't go on for too long. My only criticism is maybe the second half was not as strong as the first half. But I mean, it comes straight out the gate after the kind of little discordant piano interlude intro. But like when it
John,
kicks,
did you like the way that worked with the guitars? Because did you
it
notice
was
they didn't sort of fade it out? They let the guitars work with it, the piano, and kept it going.
yeah. So it kind of starts with the discordant piano loop, and then it kind of the drum fills come in and the distortion kind of cranks up. But then that riff, I don't know if you noticed, Mike, the piano loop is the actual verse that the guitars are doing.
Yeah,
It's yeah, yeah. It was
smart. It's
really
a
well
really
done.
clever way of doing it, and it's
It was really
again
catchy.
something
It made it
you
catchy.
well, you wouldn't pick that up potentially on the first listen, would you? Like that was one of those things
No,
that you kind of once you're sort of bedded in with the album, you start picking out those things.
I think yeah, I think you're exactly right. I think I probably did miss out on first listen. And what I like about this is like the vocals are used quite sparingly. Like they're not. It's not an onslaught of vocals. They're quite few and far between, especially for the first few minutes of the track. Lots of reverb drenched. How do you describe them? You know, when they just kind of go like like a one syllable, like ugh, but drenched in reverb.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's but yeah, I love when bands do that. It just adds that
yeah.
kind of like injection of power for that bar.
They
Um,
his vocals were really drenched in reverb, weren't they? It was quite over the top, but in a good way. It's kind of this kind of like
yeah.
cavernous kind of atmosphere. Um, I wanted to touch on his vocals actually because I he mixed it up a little bit stylistically because he did a lot of this sort of it was almost like a spoken post punk sort of
Almost
um
sung, yeah.
yeah, but I thought it worked really well and I thought it added a different dimension to this album. It made it stand out a little bit because I thought that style of vocal he did actually worked really well with the chaos as well and
Yeah.
made it feel a little bit different.
There was because it was almost like the only I don't want to say the only moment of clarity, because there was like a interlude track where you could sort of get that. But yeah, track 2, that vocal comes in around 125. Um and it kind of does bring in this kind of yeah clarity amongst the chaos, and it does work really well. And then they sort of, while he was repeating that sung section, they sort of like changed the instrumentation underneath it, added like kind of tremolo and double kick, and it was quite unique in that sense, weren't it? It was quite memorable.
Yeah, there was. I think. I think that I really do. Sorry, just bring it back to what you kind of said. Like the kind of memorable parts of it. I feel like you don't really get it at first. You actually have to give this album time
Yeah.
to pick out those parts. And there's definitely some sections where you can't really distinguish much. You know.
No. Of course, the production is quite it's quite weird, isn't it? Because it's on the whole it's great, but I feel like because they do inject like elements of like synth and organ
Yeah.
throughout the record. But I wish that they were pumped up in the mix. They could have carried this like a lot more of the weight of the song, and also the guitar. I feel like the guitars probably could have come up a tiny bit more as well. Um,
Well, I
but
think
other
I
than
would.
that,
Well, I was going to say, I think actually one of the main things I noticed was the drums were very loud.
drums and vocals were very loud.
Yeah,
Yeah,
quite overpowering. But I mean, I like it kept the energy high.
it did. Yeah, it
And his
did.
drum performance, as you said earlier, was amazing. Really good.
Yeah, on the blast sections, it was like blisteringly fast. Really
Yeah.
cool. Really cool. I
Um,
guess I haven't really asked Mike. 10 minutes in, did you enjoy this record?
yeah, I did actually. Yeah, I thought it was all right. No, I thought yeah, I thought it was really good, man. It was yeah. It do you know what? I had the same thing as you. The first time I listened to this, I had a headache and I couldn't listen to it. It was
Yeah,
even like on a low level, I couldn't because it was just too much to like take
yeah,
in.
yeah.
So I do think it's one of those albums you got to be in the mood for it because it is relentless from pretty much start to finish.
You've got to be of good health.
You'll be in good health. Yeah, yeah. Got to
Yeah.
be well rested.
Yeah, because
To take a
it's
listen to this.
intense. It is intense. It's very
Yeah.
intense, but in a great way.
Yeah, man. Did you have any particular favorite songs on there?
Um,
It's often hard to pick out, isn't it, on albums like this? Because there's, I don't want to say they're samey, but they are. A lot of it is following down the same formula there of kind of, you know,
yeah,
chaotic intensity.
I think track one is probably my favorite. That I think the piano intro that kind of repeated again as the verse. You had these really great like blast sections towards the end. The vocal performance on it was great. I think that song had like everything that I kind of want from like a blackened war death metal record.
I hate. Do you
What
know
I
what though? I hate saying it's track one because it makes it
I
seem like
know
you haven't listened
it's
to it
like we've
anymore.
never listened to any.
No, I know. Yeah, I hate saying it's track
Yeah,
one.
probably the first song was the best one. What do you think about the
Yeah,
rest? It was all right.
you do know the first song was just an intro. Um, I thought my highlight actually was probably Nero Gorgo later on
Okay, yeah, track
in the
6.
album. That they had like, I love that they had like they started with like a lead line over the blast beats,
Yeah, it was like
and
a
then
ripping solo, man. It came out of nowhere.
yeah, and then did you notice how they kind of like he stopped the drums for like a brief second, and the guitar lead line bent up the note just for that
Yeah,
bit before then coming back in. I thought it was a
it's
cool little touch.
little bits like that that are peppered throughout this record that you kind of miss on first listen, but
Yeah,
it's actually really like it's really well executed. And the more you kind of dive into it, the more you hear these little subtleties that really kind of work.
yeah, man. Do you think this
Um,
album will like? Do you think this album will get much exposure? Do you know what I mean? They feel like a very underground band. Do you think it'll
mm,
get what it
I hope
deserves, if you know what I mean?
I hope so because it's in terms of like that genre, like it's done really well. It's
Yeah.
done, and considering this is a debut as well, like
Yeah, man.
it'll
Yeah,
be
yeah.
really interesting to see where they go next because there's a lot in here to unpack.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Any more to say, Mike? Or
Do you know what? I don't think I do. It's quite hard to talk about this album because it's, I don't know.
yeah, I know what you mean. It's
I don't know. Trying to think of a
listen,
good reason why I can't talk any more about it.
if you like what we haven't said today, give us a like and a subscribe. We
Uh,
badly review metal every Wednesday and Friday. But yeah, no, I think check this one out if you do like kind of war metal and really intense, chaotic, like blackened death metal. This will probably be right up your street, and it's not too long either, is it, Mike? It's like 30 odd minutes.
yeah. I mean that. I mean you got these albums have got to be short, haven't they? Really.
Yeah, just a pure blast of power. But yeah, if you like what you heard, do give us a like and subscribe. Let us know in the comments if you checked this one out, what you thought about it, and we will